It's a new day and I'm up before the sun. I have a coffee in my hand, it's raining outside. That YouTube video that I was supposed to do yesterday that I just didn't get around to doing, that's what I'm gonna do today. What did I even do yesterday? Why didn't I get that video done? So I watched YouTube videos about watches that I can't afford, messed around with cameras that I don't even use anymore, and I fell victim to the one thing that kills entrepreneurs and their businesses: tab cycling. Command T, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, close, open, tab, Facebook, Instagram, Search Console, YouTube, Ads Manager, close. On and on and on, this absolutely pointless cycle of opening and closing tabs. And tab cycling lately has been affecting the amount of work that I've been able to produce in my businesses. And I've realized personally that if I don't get work done, I feel anxious, stressed, and sure, we all get sidetracked a little bit doing things that we don't really want to be doing, like admin, customer service, accounting, bookkeeping, other things that us business owners sign up for. But the strange thing about all of this for me is that I know that I'm not normally like this. I'm usually really motivated. I can stay focused for extended period of time, like 8 hours. I can sit at a computer screen and just work effortlessly without getting any distractions. So why is it that I can't sit down and film a YouTube video, which is literally the one task that I enjoy doing right now in my business? I asked myself this question recently and I think I found out what was wrong and how to fix it. And in fact, I have fixed it. And if you're struggling with procrastination, motivation, and you're finding yourself tab cycling all day, then this video is going to help you stop doing that. So before we get into how I overcame this tab cycling addiction and got back to being hyper-focused with working with my online business, we need to talk. If you're guilty of being a tab cycler and I came to you and I asked you, why do you think tab cycling is negatively affecting you and your business? You would probably say that it distracts you, that it stops you from doing the tasks that you need to do to make that sweet, sweet moolah. You might also say that it wastes your time, and I would agree. It might just be 30 seconds to open and close the tabs, but once you open up that YouTube page and there's that new review of a watch that you want to buy, or there's this shark attack video, or another crypto is crashing urgent video, you're going to waste at least 10 minutes watching that video. But you're not just going to watch that one video. You're going to watch this video which teaches you how to not work out so hard. You're going to watch this video here which shows how this guy cheated Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Hint, it was his wife coughing in the audience. But distraction and time isn't actually the biggest problem that tab cycling causes for us people working online. The biggest problem with tab cycling is that it depletes your dopamine. And outside of your weekend banter, dopamine is a monoamine and a catecholamine neurotransmitter that many functions, yada yada. I'm not a scientist, but what I do know is that dopamine is known as the motivation molecule. And it provides the drive and focus that we all need to stay productive. When we get a hit of dopamine, we feel good. And so when we open social media and that gives us the hit of dopamine, we associate opening social media with feeling good. And that's why we open up all our social media feeds, check them for a second, realize there's nothing on there, close them, and then open them up 15 seconds later. We're chasing that dopamine hit. Now, as people working online, consider this. Other people, they have their iPhones and they will open up social media apps on there. They might open up Facebook and then Instagram, and then they'll close it down, and then they might actually just go and return to work. So you know that quote, out of sight, out of mind? Working online, our business is at the computer, and social media and our friends and our family and our fun is at the computer. Compound that with the fact that we work for ourselves and we have nobody watching over our shoulder. We literally have endless possibilities and time to open up social media and open up new tabs and get a dopamine hit whenever we want. As people that work online, we need to be stronger. We need to see our days like this. Us entrepreneurs need to complete the tasks that we've set out for ourselves for the day that are going to grow our business. And we need to do those tasks before we drain our dopamine reserves, lose motivation, and lose our focus. And we can either waste that dopamine on social media, or we can conserve it and use it to actually build our businesses. In my eyes, this is the real challenge that entrepreneurs face on a daily basis. And this is on top of us trying to work out all the problems within our business and make it a profitable business that can grow and scale. Stop right now and think of a day where you spent the entire morning checking social media and getting your dopamine hits, and then had some lunch and then tried to tackle work in the afternoon. For me, I personally know that I'm useless when I do that. Although I haven't done any substantial work, just opening and closing social media has drained my mental energy. And there's no way that I'm making any business decisions while I'm trying to fight off a nap going into the afternoon. So to bring this back to my personal situation, I knew that tab cycling was hurting me personally and my progress within my business. And I knew that something had to change. I had to fix it. So I took a step back and I really started to look at my situation. How could I stop opening up all these tabs and windows so often? So the more that I thought about this, I actually realized that this wasn't the problem that I needed to solve. Tab cycling was the result, and it was something that I did as a result of something else that was lacking in my business. So I needed to find out what this thing was. What was causing me to tab cycle? So I started to think about a specific task that I've been trying to do, but just find myself opening up these tabs, and it was making YouTube videos. And what I realized, well, what I knew is it's not that I don't want to go out and make YouTube videos. I actually want to make YouTube videos. I enjoy making it. I would be happy to be a full-time YouTuber, and I actually want to work towards making YouTube a full-time income. What I ended up doing is I sat down and I reflected, and I asked myself when I could sit down and work for 12 hours a day straight, hyper-focused, no distractions, to the point where I would forget to eat. What was I doing then that I'm not doing now? And when I started to think like that, that's when it clicked and it all became clear. All the different elements of my brain that were disjointed and confused came together and were like, aha, we know what it is. The reason that I've been so distracted lately and tab cycling so much is because I'm starting a new business. When we start a new business, that's when it's exciting. This is the part where it's so easy to get out of bed at 5 a.m. and go and do exactly what you need to be doing. We focus on producing, making output for the business, to putting our business out into the real world. For a blog, you write. For a YouTube channel, you would film videos. For an e-commerce brand, you start ads. And what's funny is if you're like me, you get more enjoyment out of building a business and watching that grow than you would from checking social media 100 times a day. Why do we find ourselves going the other route and checking social media when deep down, we know we're going to get more satisfaction and more fulfillment by working on our business and doing the tasks involved in growing our business? This is something that I've really thought long and hard about as I've tried to go out and break this tab cycling habit. And I think I've found a solution that works for me and it might work for you. So I start tab cycling when the process that I need to follow to complete a task isn't clear. And then it's just a mental barrier, and that's when I go and open up more tabs and I don't get that task done. And so this is something that I've really focused on doing in 2022 in the first little bit, is setting up these systems and processes. Really defining how I'm going to do each different thing in my business step by step so I can go out and do them mindlessly. There's no mental barriers. I can just get up and running when I get out of bed, and the tasks that I need to do are really easy to commit to. The less friction there is between me starting and completing a task, the more likely I'm going to go out and do it without distractions. And the more that I do that, the more that I produce, the more that I put my business out into the world, I get momentum, it starts to grow, I get more motivated, and then I get more hyper-focused because I want to grow it even more. So if you're currently lacking motivation and you have tasks that you need to be doing, but you're constantly finding yourself opening up tabs and not actually doing the things that you know that you need to do, and that if you did do, would grow your business, would make you more money, would grow your audience, would basically benefit you in every way possible, I would really stop and take a second to ask yourself, am I doing the tab cycling because I haven't spent the time and stepped aside for a little bit to put processes in place to make these tasks step by step as frictionless as possible? So to make sense of all of this, I want to bring us into the real world and give you guys a real life example of where this affected me and my business, which was about producing these YouTube videos, and how not having processes to do the videos saw me tab cycling endlessly every day. So the systems and processes that I use to make YouTube videos, I'm going to be documenting in an upcoming video here on my channel. So if you want to see how I make videos like the one that you've just watched, don't forget to subscribe. And also I'm going to leave some links to videos below that I think you're really going to like. One of them is my favorite piece of business advice that I'm bringing into 2022, and how I'm going to use it to do what's in this video here, which is earn $4,706 per month by the end of this year from YouTube. So I'll end this video now. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in one of those two videos. And if you're still watching this video, I want you to check out this Chrome extension here called Block Site. It allows you to build a list of websites that you want to block, and when you try and access them, you get this error message. It's been highly effective for me. It's basically cut all my social media access down to maybe 5 minutes every couple of days. I am hyper focused on work right now. I definitely recommend checking it out.